is fine, fine. I said I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. Serious business. There is a time for everything, and for everything there is a season. So man and man must reason. So I think it's prime time that we address some more issues. Simple information I will use. No rocket science to get you confused. So relax your mind, make sure everything is fine, while I take you down a poetic line. Trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. I remember you say Liberation Day, and I ask, you sure is that you wanna say? Cause you sounded so good to believe. And deception is a powerful thing when you lose your rightful thinking. So we voted for the bling. But you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Yellow, yellow all the way is what everybody say. Cell phone ring, man answering. Yellow, yellow, no hello. Teeth get yellow, house get yellow, bus get yellow, man get yellow, even green get yellow, and so says 11-4. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Old school parables say you know what you have, but you don't know what you go get. So cherish what you have to diminish regret. But what on earth lasts forever? Not even things created by the great Jehovah. So the green grass ceased to grow to allow the yellow vibes to flow. But boy, one song I sing, one bell I ring. If we didn't know, we'd never know yellow would have treated us so. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. They began with the blame game, giving NNP more fame. Past administration, the cause of frustration. Past administration, chief of corruption. Then to economic recession, we can't give you attention. Economic recession, the cause of poverty in the land. Economic recession, no employment for the ordinary man. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. All your projects are stuck in a pipeline. But when asked, how is the country going? Oh, fine. We are looking into it. Never mind. Only projects in pipeline. No water to cool down the yellow temperature. When will they start? Please answer that. Oh, soon. Maybe by the next full moon. Although things are turning at a very slow pace, we now run no race. 5 years is a lot of space. It's just a few hungry people in another place, and a few disgruntled grim people with their vexed face. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Busy governing, busy managing, busy politicking, busy neglecting, busy inflicting poverty and hunger throughout Grenada. 1,000 Frenchmen can never be wrong.
And good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Pity Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points.
Them advisors home, they're sucking money like
Today is Thursday. It's our final program for this week.
the economy. You are Manchester, whole of the country. You didn't see us down by the bureau when you send SSU to beat we. Trick us with campaign pro.
And of course, my name is Sheldon Scott. I'll be with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. It's now 5 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock.
When you lose the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. So we've heard about your internal division, but some can't digest that one. Remember the man say he's an asset to the party? And will we vote you without him?
Yeah, as usual, we're letting the numbers build up a bit before we get fully into the conversation, yeah?
I foresee a pretensive unity that will mislead a lot just before the next ballot. But you guys will have to come real good, cause it's a long time Grenada ain't eat a food. You think politicians good? Trick us with campaign promises. We won't stay at ease, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you...
So let me say a special good night to you, Denna. Denna, I see like you're in first tonight, girl. Seanel, Shemaine, Brave Boy, McLean, Linda Imelda Francois, Lynn, Maria, Christine, Anne. Hey, Anne, what's up with you? Yeah, what's the matter tonight, right? Denise, Earl, Devon, Romaine, my good buddy, Dale, Andre, I'm seeing Jillian, Leonard, Jocelyn, Shenron, yeah, Dominic, Sherry, Connie, good night to you, Olive, Bev, Kishon, Landon, Leroy. Yeah, I'm seeing all of you on the Facebook Live. A special good night to you and the many others who are joining by the second. And over on the YouTube, Wilma, Kathleen, Faithlin, Jillian, Sherma, Anne, Christine, Deborah, Adrian Watts. Good night to you, Brother Watts. Anna Barbara, Eliza, Jackie, Beavis, and let me see, Anne-Marie, Celestine, how are you? Deborah, Clive, Gavin, and Jakeem, Dave, I'm seeing you. Kathleen, Public, good night, bro. Matthew Bowen out there in Brooklyn, good night to you. Henry, Gloria, Kevin, Angie, Samantha, Wolfgang, and Joyce. And a special good night to you, Kathy Albert. Yeah, I know, up on the big screen. Nice, right? Lystra, Abraham, good night to you. Michelle, Joyce, special good night to each and every one of you, all right?
Chinese, you better wrap up $1,000 in yellow jerseys for we, or give us everything free as in the days of NNP, or else funeral.
Yeah, let me say a special good night to you, Martin, and your lovely wife. I hope that you all are having a wonderful night tonight. Just saying a special good night to both of you. Nice, yeah.
But I know you...
My good people, I saw them today. Nice, yeah.
Is a problematic...
James, good night to you as well, my brother. Yeah, let me play the other anthem, yeah, the road march, yeah.
They say when you don't have good food, you must take in front. So this is my...
I said just letting the numbers build.
23. Make sure all come out and support me. No politics, just Kaiso. Let's go. There is no place in the world like Grenada. Its people are so unique, so fabulous. They take politics real serious. You can't tell a man nothing wrong about his party. He'll deal with you so seriously, and from there on, you are his enemy. But as man, I must open my big mouth to lament on some things you know about. So the bother come attack me. Don't waste your time on a old jungle like me. Pie in the sky, promises and mama guy. Voters say their expectations were too high. Like the old proverb from way back long. You want to be wrong and strong. Some people bawling with their mouth closed. How they do that, only God knows. Man who could talk, they bawling with their jaws locked.
You know, I'm trying to figure out how the people bawling with their mouth closed. So that it's kind of like, yes, or something like that probably they have to do it. I'm trying to figure out how they does bawl with their mouth closed.
Not only dummies used to do that. A lady told me she's dying inside slowly, but she don't mind once it's NDC killing she. She said we had enough under Claudius, so nothing wrong if baby Jesus kill us. All those who claim that they love country.
Yeah, good night to Margaret and family out there in Happy Hill. Hope you all are having a wonderful night as well.
Reality is quite visual and so clear to see. Some things are morally wrong and unethical, are considered as politically essential. Their backs are against the wall, but you still can't tell them they're wrong at all. $2,000 increase on your salary, but you cut for people on by $150. I wonder who advising you. Old people go drag bam bam on you. You promise to improve standard of living, but
yeah, let me say that shout out to Margaret is coming from your sister locked in Trinidad. Yeah, so she's sending a special good night to you as well.
Into poverty, they're crying with their mouths closed. How they do that, only God knows. They're afraid to talk your supporters on the attack when they say is that. A man told me as a strong foot soldier since June 23rd, he ain't make $1. When he checked them, hear what they go say. You was wearing a green jersey one Sunday. I'm a strong supporter of the transformation agenda. It could be done with minimal errors, but tribalism and partisan politics messed up the Congress genetics. Mr. PM, you must stick to your promises. A lot of people voted you on these premises. How could you fool big people so? With pension permanent and more money galore. Now they're expecting you to deliver, but your conversation becomes so different. If your mind change, complain and tell us. Remember you are Grenada, Jesus. You promise happiness and better days, but we sing the opposite in many ways. Man, don't go down in record as the worst PM. The poor and needy, please don't neglect them. A burning silence deep within, quietly suffering, because you are labeled as a greed. You could not count your blessings. Sandra told me she's greatly disappointed. That's not what she expected, but she's sticking with she party, even though she grandma lose the 150. Jonah was giving them one, but you offered them two. They took the bait and they voted for you. They say you focus on the rich and middle class, the lower strata, you don't care one ras. Now them out stretched long with fret and regret. They miss the little stipends they used to get. Faith and CJs, you kill them dead. Over 1,000 families lost their bread. You send groundsmen home and told them reapply, but you know very well that was mama guy. Nobody in spraying sauce up no more. With pest and disease, that industry will never grow. I can't wait for the new MNIB. Farmers' money go be tall like coconut tree. They say people get too much a pension, all because of wrong calculations. But Mr. X did tell them already, in the land there's one mathematician. I told my partner to bring back the money, make the treasury look pretty with one salary. They don't bother with the lady up in High Street, so she come on Facebook and she excrete. People say NDC don't want no heart. How they coulda do them Haitians that? No regards for humanity. Baby Jesus totally lost his sanctity. All you go come here and make things worse, put more pressure on the nation's purse. So Haiti, I'm sorry, they didn't want you in the yellow country.
Yes, indeed, folks. Yeah, people keep that. That is Mount Zion. I just call it Mount Zion. Everybody want to know who sing this song, who sing this song, who sing this song. The very same person that sang this song is the same person that sang that song. Let me play it.
This is not politics. Please don't forget. I'm just practicing to be a poet.
The very same person sang both songs. Yeah, nice. Now that you know. All right. Good, folks, and we're going to have the phone lines open from earlier, 440-7377. That you can call on WhatsApp, you can call us directly, all right? So the phone lines are open. It's 14 minutes after 8 o'clock, time for us to go. Everybody else go catch up with us, right? We're in front in the marathon. Everybody else had to catch up with us, so we're moving. I'm going to say something there, but that is a term the other side does use. What can I say? Oh, yeah, well, it's time to begin. Yeah, let's put it like that. It's time to begin. Now, first and foremost, I dealt with the issue of healthcare 2 nights this week. And I want to deal with it again tonight because earlier I got some information, and then I saw an article come out by Linda Straker. I think I have the article somewhere here. Yeah, let me just pull the article up for you all. Yeah, so I saw an article come out by Linda Straker that spoke to, several different things that are passing around in Grenada right now. It speaks to the human metapneumovirus, H1N1 or swine flu, and of course COVID, and 3 of them being circulating in Grenada right now. Have any of you heard from the Ministry of Health in relation to this? I've had a situation for the last week with my son where he's been coughing in the night and coughing and fighting to breathe and so on. And in fact, I haven't slept properly for the last 2 weeks because of that in the night. Sometimes that's why in the daytime, while they're trying to reach me and they can't reach me. Sometimes I have to try and take the little sleep in the day for an hour or 2 because I ain't getting it in the night. Because he has been coughing and that sort of, and I'm wondering, well, what's going on here? You got medication and all kind of thing. Only now to be finding out that you have the human metapneumovirus, the HMPV, which can cause upper and lower respiratory disease in people of all ages, especially young adults, older adults, and so. You have the H1N1 or swine flu that has been, it is in Grenada and has been found in Grenada. And you also have, again, COVID-19. So these things are taking place right now, and I was just showing you the article there from Linda Straker saying some of what has happened. But I've also got some other information, and I'm just trying to pull it up there for you in relation to some of the things that I have been speaking about here. Now, it has been confirmed by the Caribbean Agency, CAFA, that these things are present in Grenada right now. It has been confirmed. And I'm not saying these things to scare you. I'm saying these things so that we know that these things are wrong, to take precautions, because if the Ministry of Health doesn't want to tell you take precautions, I'm going to tell you take precautions. Yeah? Because you're not hearing anything from your Minister of Health and so on. You're not hearing anything from them. Yeah? And as you could see here, it says H1N1. I mean, it might be small for some of you, and I'll see if I could get that up a little bigger for you. But COVID-19, these are some of the figures, the latest figures in relation to COVID-19 in Grenada. We've had 1 death. We have 49 active cases of COVID-19 in the state of Grenada. That's inclusive of Carriacou and Petit Martinique right now. We have 20 new cases, and 4 people are presently hospitalized with COVID-19. Yeah? Have you heard that from the Ministry of Health? Have they told you that? Have they told you that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 variants of COVID-19 circulating in Grenada as of the 18th of January? There are 5 different variants of COVID-19 that are circulating in Grenada right now. The Ministry of Health remains silent. Yeah, today I was going through GIS page expecting to see something in relation to this. Because if you've had a COVID death, you have 4 in hospital, you have 49 people, I would think that at least you tell people, try to be a little more careful and that sort of thing. And then, not just COVID, but you have H1N1 circulating in Grenada as well. So it's not just a case that you have COVID-19. And let me see, I got this a little bigger for you to see. Yeah? So you have various things that are circulating in Grenada right now, and all we're seeing from the Ministry of Health is that they go and cut in ribbon for a health center. That's what they're good for. Not the staff in the Ministry of Health, but the leadership in the Ministry of Health. What we should have been seeing now is at least hearing from the ministry, from the leadership of the ministry, that these things are present in Grenada, and these are the precautions you ought to take. That if you experience symptom A, B, or C, or D, that you should report to the nearest health center or health facility or so on. Yeah? And as one of the persons on the WhatsApp has just messaged, the Prime Minister of Trinidad have COVID again. I think that's the 4th time. Yeah, I think he have a world record right now as a leader for having COVID. That's the 4th time. Dr. Rowley, stop lying in them place. But yeah, this is serious business. Because what we have here is that you have influenza, H1N1 or swine flu in Grenada, and people die from H1N1, right? You have the metapneumovirus, which is also circulating. That gives problems with breathing and so on. And you have SARS or COVID-19. SARS is COVID-19, right? COVID-19. 5 different types that are circulating here in Grenada. And your Ministry of Health remains silent. You haven't heard from them. Yeah? Why is the leadership in the Ministry of Health keeping these things quiet? Why are they not telling? And again, because I just want to make sure that it gets across that we are not saying these things. We are not saying these things to scare anybody. We're not saying these things to make anybody become afraid or start to panic. We are saying these things because you have a right to know. What happened? Because they make people sign confidentiality letter now that nobody can speak, nobody can say anything. Like even the ministers sign a confidentiality letter too, because now like they can't even come out and tell you that these things are taking place in the state of Grenada at this point in time. Don't think it's only that. You have an outbreak of gastroenteritis as well. Yeah, there's also an outbreak of gastroenteritis. There have been several cases, increased cases of gastroenteritis taking place in the state of Grenada. 72 cases reported, so not all cases are reported, 36 males and 36 females. There are, you can see here the age range and everything. Yeah, no, don't ask. I just get the information. Somebody shove it under the door. All right, but yeah, these are the things that are taking place in Grenada right now. And your administration, your government, thinks that while this is taking place, when they should be urging parents and people with children with, as they put it, comorbidities, and elderly and so on, people who are generally weaker and so, that they should be careful, because with a case of gastro, especially in the elderly, if they become dehydrated, it can cause them to lose their life. The same with children. If they become too dehydrated, they can lose their life. So you know that's going on. And you're remaining quiet, man. You have nothing to say. Well, I'm going to say they're balling with the jaw lock. There's the kind of things that going on here right now, and these people wouldn't even come out and say, well, look, this is the situation. You're telling me that these things are happening, and they don't think it's important to have a post-cabinet press briefing. They don't think it's important to put something out, at least a press release. If you're going to pay a press secretary over $10,000 or $10,000, as the allegation goes, if you're going to pay that kind of money, then at least a press release in relation to issues like this is important. That's the kind of thing that we expect them to be putting out and speaking about. Instead, what they're doing, taking out pictures, all kind of nonsense and so. And yeah, I know that somebody just messaged me about the Zoom meeting. I know the Zoom meeting took place today. Unfortunately, I was unable to join because of how I was traveling around today. I was unable to join, but don't worry, I'll get the info. Yeah? So we'll be discussing that particular one, not tonight. We're discussing that one next week, because these people, one of my friends today, they sent some information to me on the word bi-monthly. So the word bi-monthly can mean two things. It could mean either every 2 months or twice a month, right? So the people who want to get paid bi-monthly, yeah, it could mean twice a month or once every 2 months. So I think they need to relook at the wording and all kind of stuff in relation to that. But I'm saying this, we need to hear at this point in time, we need to hear from our Ministry of Health. We ought to be hearing from our Ministry of Health in relation to this issue. But today, with this information available, and they know that, don't get it twisted, the Minister of Health knows this. And I'm pretty sure that if he knows that he's informed his cabinet colleagues, they know this information. And if they know this information, as I believe that they know this information, why have they not at least sent out a press release to let people know to be careful with your children, to be careful with your elderly, to be careful with other people? Yeah? Why have they not done that? It's a simple something to do. Because you're speaking about life and death here. You're speaking about people's life and death here. And with all of that, you still have dengue going around. And dengue does kind of never leave. So you still have a few dengue cases coming up every other week or so. You have dengue. Dengue doesn't ever really leave. Dengue is always around here. So you have dengue. They haven't found Zika and that kind of thing, but they found dengue. So that's the kind of thing that we have taking place. And these people are not giving you the information in relation to these things. As I said, let me put it up again, because I'm not sure if some of you would be able to see it properly. But let me put it up again. That's some of the information in relation to some, and that is from the Ministry of Health in relation with CAFA and so on. They've sent samples when people come in and they're ill. They've sent things over to CAFA, and the tests have come back positive for these things. Dengue, yes, so you have cases of dengue in Grenada. You have cases of swine flu in Grenada. You have cases of what they call it again? Human metapneumonic virus. Pneumonia virus, right? Yes, so they have that as well. Inform people, tell them. It's not that people go panic and everybody put on a mask and everybody want lockdown and things. No, it's not a case of that. But at least people know to be more careful when they're moving around. Yeah? At least people know sanitize. At least people know that if you start to cough and so, put on a mask. Yeah? At least people know that if you think you're coming down to one of those things, go and test to see if that's the case, so that you know that you wouldn't infect somebody else or so on. At least say that now. What's so hard? What's so hard? What's so hard in being and just coming out and say that? Why they have to try and hide everything? Yeah? My goodness, man.
I wanna fly. What is happening to Sweetie and T? Ask them boys in parliament for me. Education is indeed a golden rule, but not to make you become a power-hungry fool.
Yes, indeed. One or two of my contacts have been telling me the same thing, that on the Zoom meeting today, it was discussed that the bi-monthly payment is going to start in April. So from April the 15th, that that's what they're calling it, the bi-monthly payment. I would call it bi-weekly payment, but they're calling it bi-monthly payment. So the bi-monthly payment, where you might get paid by the 15th, or you might get paid by the 30th. Yeah, that's the bi-monthly payment. Yeah. So that they are saying that the bi-monthly payment would be activated as of the 15th and so on. In my view, it's window dressing for a larger problem. And let me say this. When I say it's window dressing for a larger problem, I mean that the main issue that should be looked at here is the minimum wage. Within 6 weeks of coming into office, these 15 individuals that sit in the cabinet of Grenada, they looked at their minimum wage. So they ensured that they added an additional $2,000 onto their salaries. Yeah? And that they did it in a way that they're paying absolutely not one halfpenny, 0.5%, not even that, on tax. That is what these individuals did. So when they come with the window dressing now about, yeah, if you're working for $1,200, we're still paying you the $1,200, but you're going to get $600 on the 15th and $600 at the end of the month. Does that really alleviate any problem? Yeah, they say, okay, you're going to have more cash in hand and it's going to increase cash flow and it's going to increase business and so on. It does not increase the person's spending power. If you're telling them that they're going to get, if they're working for $1,200 and they're going to get $1,200 on the 15th and $1,200 on the 30th, that was something else. But it's the same money that they're getting, they're just getting it in two halves. And we all know what happens when you break our glasses, man. The moment you have that $100 and you break that glasses, man, we know what has happened. So when you break your salary into two, we know what's going to happen. Yes, okay, there's a possibility that spending power will increase and you have more businesses, but who is going to benefit? Is the actual worker going to benefit, or is just the business community going to benefit? Because here's what, on record, we have the present Prime Minister saying that one of the things that's going to boost the economy of Grenada is the removal of freight on items coming in at the port. We're putting the freight back to the 2019 level. Not taking it out totally, but putting the freight costs back to the 2019 level. That was done. Did that lower the cost of foodstuff for you? Did that lower the cost of any foodstuff that you are purchasing? Did that cause the cost of your basket of goods to go down? The other night, we had various people calling in and sending messages and saying what the price of items are. In fact, the price of items have been going the other direction. And it's not yet a case where the 2023 level of freight costs have been reinstated. That hasn't happened yet. As far as I know, I haven't seen anything to that level yet. But is the price of goods, are the price of the foodstuffs that you buy going down? We're not seeing that. We also heard the present Prime Minister say that the payment of pension is going to change the financial landscape of Grenada. Yeah, there would have been milk and honey flowing from trees, and streets are gold by now. The way we spoke about paying the pension is going to do this and do that, and people are going to do the other, and all sort of thing. Have you seen the payment of the pension actually do that? Have you seen it boost the economy? Speak to the businessmen. Speak to the people who sell building materials and see if there was any difference. Speak to the people that do construction and see if there was any difference to what they normally have around that time of year, around November, December. In fact, they're saying that it was worse, that December was worse than the previous year in many instances. So we have the Prime Minister saying, oh, it's going to reinvigorate the economy and you're going to have so many things taking place in the economy and so on. Every single proposal that he has put forward thus far to improve the Grenadian economy has not materialized. Every single one of them. Yeah? All. So far.
There is no other answer. It's best we elect a stupid Prime Minister. Cause them fellas, they bright. Good God, they're more than bright. But they not run this country right.
And well, while these guys are speaking about paying on again, I don't believe it's bi-monthly, bi-weekly. While I'm saying that they're going to be paying on a bi-weekly basis, they have not looked at the real issue. The real issue is the minimum wage. Because even if you're paying people on a fortnightly basis and the price of foodstuffs are going up, it doesn't give the person increased spending power, you know. What is being done to address the inflation? What is being done to address the increase in price of foodstuff? That something could be $7 and something cents now and then be by next month $12 and something cents for the same item. And we've seen it. People are going to the supermarkets and you're seeing it. Sometimes you go in the supermarket, you step outside to change your mind. By the time you go back inside, the price change. That is how it is right now. So we need to address those issues. Those are the fundamental issues that need to be addressed if you want to improve the standard of living of the average Grenadian. Those are the things that you have to do. And when you promise people things like, for instance, you promise them.
So let me zero in. You have a seed program. The World Bank says, if you're making $650 or less, you're poor. Yet still, the seed program is only paying you $350 and $450. They are aware of the World Bank report. Why then raise the seed program to $650 or more? So if they're interested in truly alleviating poverty or truly helping you, they would raise the figure to $650 or more. So I'm saying to all of the persons who are genuinely...
So these... Okay, we have a call online. Let's go to the phone line. Hello? All right. Seems as though we lost that caller. All right, yeah. So, yes, folks, you can call in. A few calls did come in, but I was making a point. I stopped with it. Yeah. So far, I've spoken about the respiratory illnesses that are circulating in Grenada. And now I'm speaking a bit about the bi-monthly payment. Now, you know what this also means as well, though? that all of these financial institutions, and someone was making that point a while ago, all of the financial institutions now have to get you to come and sign over from what you have said you would do, because if your date to pay your loan is a particular date and they expect a particular amount of money to come in at that time, and now your payments are split in two, or your payments are not going to be able to meet the full payment that you have to make on that date, you're going to find yourself in trouble. So some financial institutions are going to have to renegotiate loans with people who are within the public service. I don't know if the government had the wherewithal to speak to those financial institutions so that instead of sending the full salary at a point in time, they send half and they send half. All of this is what needs to be discussed. As I said, I wasn't on today on the live, on the Zoom. Good night. Hello, caller. Good night.
Hey, Sheldon, good night to our listeners. How are you doing?
Hey, Doc. I just make it on the voice, man. How you doing?
Yeah, man, I am doing fabulous. I am listening. Always there is something to talk about. You know, you played a clip just now, and I just want to help us to understand the clip. There are some very significant phrases in the words of the current prime minister when he was on the campaign. He said about the World Bank report that, and he was referring to the government then, led by Dr. Mitchell, the NNP. He said that if you are serious about alleviating poverty as defined by the World Bank, you will raise the seed payment to $650. If you were genuine and serious about alleviating, and he is true, those words are not fake words. These are genuine words and meaningful words. So he accused the former government of not being genuine. When he assumed power, he showed us, and that is significant, you know. People have to understand that. And the hundreds of listeners and viewers of our program tonight need to understand the words. It means if he is able to remove $150, make the payment less than what it was, instead of moving it towards 650, he moved it away from 250 at 650. It therefore means that he is actually not genuine and honest about alleviating poverty. And this is significant. Here is a prime minister who chooses, he is smart, and he chooses his words carefully. Then what I want to say to you tonight is that a person's character is always manifested in the words that they say and they repeat. Mark my words. A person's character, we are judged more by what we say. The intent of our heart is always manifested in the things we say and the way we behave. And that is the yardstick for measuring the true nature of our heart. It therefore means that the prime minister at no time at all in the history of his life is ever genuine and honestly considering alleviating poverty in Grenada. He does not care. What he says to us is that I don't care about poor people. He doesn't say it in these words, but the words that he says sum up to be like that. So Sheldon, today is the 23rd, right?
Mm-hmm.
So today marks a month since the current government assumed leadership of this nation.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote a little piece today, talking about, I entitled it, Boots on the Ground, Pie Devoured, Not Delivered. and I was trying desperately, and I tried really hard, Sheldon, to find one thing about the promises of the NDC that were delivered. I'm talking about their promises. I'm not talking about things that were in the pipeline orchestrated by the NNP government, okay? I'm talking about things that they conceived and conceptualized by themselves, and what is it that they have delivered. They have paid out a pension. They have paid out an illegal payment to public workers of over $2 million, for which the court says that they had no right to pay. Okay, so that can't be an achievement. That's not delivering pie. In fact, that's delivering stolen pie. Okay, so when you look at what they have promised and what they have delivered, Sheldon, I don't know that I could count any on my fingers. And after 8 months, there is a honeymoon period in leadership and transition. There is a honeymoon period. And granted, we talk about 60 days and we talk about the first 100 days and then we talk about the first 6 months. We are now getting ready to celebrate the first anniversary of this government. And we have not even seen the clearance of a piece of land to deliver the 500 houses that are supposed to be delivered every year. Houses with veranda and pools, okay? I see them putting on hats and say they're going to Miami to look in the diaspora to see if they could get partners to come now and ask people. I understand the Minister for Housing was in a school in the South asking people to identify their private lands and where they can give up so that they can have places to construct these houses. So everything that they promised and everything, including the promise from the Minister for Social Development on December 19, when she said that her government will continue to pay seed money as was paid by the previous government. 1 month later, on January 19th, that proved to be a lie. So everything that they kept saying that they will do, they have not. And 8 months now into their leadership or misleadership, and we have nothing tangible, except for the frequent pictures on Facebook. Everybody is saying
No,
cheat.
Doc. No, we've also got this. We've also got the successful send home program.
Well,
the homegrown send home program.
Well, we are coming to that, Sheldon.
Yeah.
So,
and then the nurses on a sick leave. Yeah, they're getting sick of them and decide to leave.
Well, Sheldon, I understand that in the month of January, 29 nurses left. And there are over 50 who have already indicated that they will do so soon. Remember, you asked the question when you started the program tonight, where is the Minister for Health? Where is his warning or his information sharing about the current state of the virus, the H1N1, the SARS, et cetera, and the new one that's coming on stream? I think he is on his knees praying, Sheldon. You asked the question, where is him? I think he's on his knees praying. They call him the praying mantis. He has the best prayer in Grenada.
Well, maybe he praying with his mouth closed.
He praying with his mouth closed. He's meditating. Because you know why? He was so assured that after giving the $500 bribe to the nurses and begging them in Parliament saying, we need you nurses, please stay, he now realized that it is not about the increase in payment for nurses. Nurses and any professional, Sheldon, whenever opportunities arise for betterment of themselves and or their family, they go where their reward is greater. Everybody does that. Everybody generally does that. So to indict the NNP for not being able to keep nurses in the first month of the year after the best budget in the world and in the Caribbean, you have 20 odd nurses leaving. So, where are we tonight, Sheldon? Oh, so many broken promises. So that's why we have to hold on, Sheldon. keep reminding our listeners, our followers, okay, that this current government is a bunch of impulsive, youthful people who lack the discretionary mandate to govern. And we're seeing that in the plethora of simple mistakes that they are making regarding governance. You know who was the acting prime minister?
Let me ask you a question. Do you think some of those things are mistakes or they are willfully being done? Because I can't say that when they took $150 from the elderly after just less than a month after going to Parliament and saying that they're leaving the $150, my brother, that is not a mistake. When they took $2,000 and put onto their own salary, my brother, that ain't no mistake. When they start firing people left, right, and center, that ain't no mistake. That is willful wickedness. That's what I call it. Willful wickedness.
I agree with you. But you see, it's a mistake in the sense. Listen. I agree with you. Let me not sugarcoat their behavior. There is no question that they are compelled and impelled by vindictiveness, shallow-mindedness. When the Attorney General referred to Grenadians as needy and greedy people, and their supporters say that they are going to get rid of the needy and greedy. And I watched a post today. Sheldon, you have been saying what some people have been saying, and I really never read it about them. And today I was scrolling through Facebook where I saw a prominent member on the opposite side, right? Sheldon, that person said, and I quote, here is the quote. It says, "The time for freeness have ended, and it's that." You're saying that to Sheldon, let me make the case tonight. Let our listeners understand what is really going on. You hear Sheldon talk, you hear a lot of us, we echo this. But I have I have two visually impaired people that are close to me, right? And both of them, Sheldon, the 150 were taken away from them. I'm talking about blind people, Sheldon, blind. This is not freeness, Sheldon. These are people who have worked all their lives, laboring for the development of Grenada. And in this time of their life, when they have lost their eyesight, you have taken away and reduced them to a state worse than where they were. That is wickedness. But I call it mistakes, Sheldon, because it shows a certain level of ignorance and dumbness in governance. And that was the reason why I said mistake. Because if you want to remain or be known as a dutiful, honest, a man of integrity in leadership and in governance, you will not make those elementary decisions, because these decisions are not only going to it's really going to hurt Grenadians, older people, the elderly, vulnerable children, the differently able-bodied people, developmentally challenged people. These are those that are benefiting from the seed program in many ways. And when you take away that 150, you are reducing them to a condition that is despicable. Mm-hmm. So you are right, Sheldon. They have managed to successfully disempowered Grenadians. They have managed to successfully create a state of chaos. Now, today, I see there is a letter being sent to members of MNIB to go and to the Ministry of Finance to collect their money. And if they have any questions, they need to email somebody. You know, these are things that you clarified before so people know the severance package. You know, the severance package, Sheldon, is going to be a surprise to people when they appear with the ID to collect the severance pay.
Well, you see, Doc, before you go any further on that,
Yes.
I was going to speak on that in a while anyway.
Yes.
I'm wondering what's taking place there because they're saying come to location such and such and collect your severance and so. As far as I know, if you have taken a loan out with a bank or other lending institution, it could be Fast Cash or what's the other one? Axel Finance, Courts Ready
Yes.
Cash, whatever it is. They have a clause inside there. If you read the fine print before you do these things, there's a clause in there that if you lose your job, the employer has to forward your entire final salary to that institution, you know. So if you owe an institution, let's say you owe 20,000 and your payoff for your years of service is 13,000. That $13,000, according to the agreement you have signed, cannot just come directly to you, you know. The institution that is paying you, which in this instance is the government of Grenada, has to and is supposed to pay that money over to whether it's a Republic Bank or whether it's First International or whatever it is, whichever bank it is, they're supposed to pay those monies over to that institution. So when I saw this letter today, I'm a bit confused because it's either somebody know what they're doing, somebody didn't read fine print, or some kind of thing taking place there. That's why I was asking in a previous program if negotiations had taken place with these lending institutions to ensure that if a situation crops up where somebody is owing and what they're owing and what they're receiving is less than how much they are owing, that some sort of arrangement, special arrangement can be made for such a person. Because what it would mean is that if I am going to receive my last salary and my severance and it comes up to 13,000 and I owe that credit union or whatever 20,000, it means that come the end of the month, I have not a cent to collect, you know, and I'm now unemployed. You understand what some of the people in marketing board are facing? I ain't here to talking about that, and I ain't here to say to speak to the lending institutions to ensure that situations like that don't crop up.
Well, I tell you, Sheldon, what you're saying there is absolutely a business arrangement, and it's real. You're not making up anything because the fine print does say that. Because remember, they go by salary deductions for any loans taken out with those institutions.
Mm-hmm.
It therefore means that if you were to lose and your employment, but you have a lump sum, then that lump sum will automatically go to clear up the debt. So in some cases, people will receive zero.
Anybody reading their loan agreement would realize that that is a clause that's put in, and that's to protect the financial institution. Because they don't want a situation that, hey, that person owes me 20, they get 13, they take the 13 and they go about their business, and now they're unemployed, I ain't getting nothing. They put that clause in there to protect. Any loan officer you speak to will tell you that they put that clause in there to protect the financial institution. Again, has the government spoken to these financial institutions to protect people who end up in this situation? Because then you would have people who are now unemployed. They may have rent to pay. They may have different bills to pay. They have to buy food. They may have children that they have to see about, or even elder parents that they look after, who are going to be going home on the 28th. I think the letter said, I had it somewhere here, on the 28th, who are going to be going home without a single cent. That's the reality of what can be taking place with some people. I'm not saying that's all the workers at marketing board are deeply indebted some way or the other. But what about those who are? You have 94 people. 94 people that on the 28th, that's next week, Wednesday, is it?
Yeah.
That are going home. So I was wondering about this thing where they have to go into that location, because I would have thought that they are legally bound to turn those monies over to the financial institutions.
Yeah. And you absolutely may be right about that, Sheldon.
Yeah. Okay, Doc. Well, give me a call again.
Yes, I will.
All right, we're
Sheldon.
closing in on
Yes.
9 o'clock. All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed, folks. And we were speaking there with, in case you don't know the voice, that's Dr. Panchu, eh? Yeah, he does give us a call every week and we just chat on different things. So we are speaking there. Let me make sure the box is clear. Yes, we're speaking there with Dr. Panchu. So remember, this is a situation. I'm hearing about that I saw the letter saying they advise them of the payment of the severance and they have to come into this location at a particular time and so on. We have another caller coming in via the WhatsApp. Let me just get that caller. Hello, good night.
Good night, Sheldon.
Hey, sir.
Yeah, do you go in Pemota America already?
You're sort of breaking up again, eh? I'm not hearing you clearly.
Do you went in Pemota America station already?
No, I've not been up that side yet.
If it's the country of the America station, you'll never have to go in Pemota.
My brother, for some reason, I don't know if it's the device you're using, but we'll have to terminate because we can't really hear what you're saying. It's totally muddled. I don't know if it's the internet or what it is, but I'm not hearing what it is you're saying. We have a caller on the line. Good night.
Good night.
Hi, good night. How are you?
Sheldon. I think I heard Dr. Pancho mention about some email that they should send in some information. But a lot of people, the age-level people, don't know about the computer system. They don't know about email.
No, I think.
So how do you expect them to send in this information?
No, I think that isn't specific to the marketing board employees. If they have any queries about their payment or so that they need to submit those questions to a specific email address. I think it's in that case that they're speaking about. That's specific to the marketing board employees.
All right.
Yeah. All right, my dear. Nice. Yes, 4407377. So my friend who called on the WhatsApp a while ago, you may need to change location also because I think it's probably the internet that's doing you that. And give us a call back, or you can call directly as well. 4407377. Because remember, we're dealing with a group of individuals. And let me take the call here. Nice. Let me see if I get you on this time. Hello? Yes, sir. Much clearer now. Go right ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
Do you go to Pemota America station already? Do you visit Pemota America station?
No, sir. I live in the south, not in St. David anymore. It's been years. Unfortunately so.
Sheldon, if you see the country of Pemota America station, you'll never put your foot in my Pemota America station. Sheldon, you do have medication up there, Sheldon.
Well, my friend, it's not just Pedmata. Don't pick out Pedmata alone. There's a problem with medication island-wide. Yeah, even this morning again, people coming up and saying they went to get medication and they can't get medication in the government pharmacy.
Only two, since NSC coming power now, only 2 garbage bin they put in Pemota America station. 2 garbage bin alone the job there. I was there when the job the 2 bin, and that is not looking good. So why you put the bin with paper? Toilet paper? Tissue?
But my friend.
Oh, mama.
So you're calling. Let's just be clear here. So you're calling on the administration to immediately address the situation at the Pedmata Medical Station.
Yes.
Okay.
The minister had incoming pass through in the medical station. Nothing. Come on.
All right, my brother.
Do something about the ceiling.
Okay.
Thanks.
No problem, sir. Yeah, I have not been up that side, as into living up there, so I'm having to use that health facility for a very long time. So I haven't been there. Seeing the outside, I know aesthetically there needs to be some work. I have not been inside. So probably there's some work that needs to be done inside as well. So the caller is calling on the Ministry of Health to address the situation at the Pedmata Health Center. Folks, last night we spoke about this one as well. We spoke about the situation when it comes to the NIS of various workers. Some of them are working in the Ministry of Youth right now. And we heard what the Prime Minister said about NIS and the payment of the NIS and so on. Let's get what the Prime Minister said in relation to that one, because we like to make sure that they can't say we lie. So let's touch that one here and hear what the Prime Minister had to say.
But I just want to reflect a little on the consequences of our workers being placed on contract, and of the consequences of our workers being branded as Imanis and placed on contract. The consequences of that are, as I've said, you will not have a pension. For many of the contract workers, the government of Grenada has told them that they are required to pay their own NIS. And I'm calling out the National Insurance Scheme because we all know that if a private employer refuses to pay the NIS contributions on behalf of his employees, they will be hauling him to the High Court, to the Magistrate Court. They will be auditing him up left, right, and center, and they will be hounding him down to ensure that the contributions are paid.
Now, note, this is the same Minister of Finance and Prime Minister whose ministry, they have it as division again, so I don't know, maybe it did get downgraded. Division of Youth, Sports and Culture, they have been asked to pay their own NIS. The contracted workers there have been asked to pay their own NIS. You heard him saying that that's illegal, that's wrong, and the NIS needs to take firm action in relation to it. So, their National Insurance Scheme, manager, staff, truancy officers, all of you who are working with the National Insurance Scheme, yes, please. The present Prime Minister said that what his government is doing is wrong. Yeah? He's saying what his government is now doing is wrong. And we have it up on the screen. I saw a screenshot of this coming back to me today. Yeah? I'll have to post it onto the page itself. But the person who holds the office of Prime Minister is the same individual who is saying what I'm playing here right now. Let's hear a little more.
The National Insurance Scheme is therefore required to ensure that the government of Grenada pays the NIS contribution for all of the employees of the government of Grenada. And let us understand what that means. It means if NIS is not being paid for you, you will not get an NIS pension, as little as it is. You will not be able to claim NIS sick leave. You will not be able to claim NIS maternity leave. You will not be able to claim a workplace benefit injury. The question, therefore, is why would a government that cares about its people, about its workers, place its workers in a position where the statutory scheme that has been established since 1983 for all workers to have social security benefits like maternity leave, like sick leave, like workplace employment injury benefits, like a pension, like a funeral death grant, be taken away from you by the government refusing to pay your NIS contributions.
And just remember, he is now refusing to pay these workers, the same workers he's talking about there. He is now refusing to pay their contributions. And they can't say we lie. Look at the screen. I take my ugly face off and I make sure and I put up what they have put out. So you can see for yourself. You hear him, you know? He's singing nice. But he's watch, the man singing pretty. He's singing real nice. Yeah. The government had to be wicked if they're not paying the contribution of workers. But look here. They have told the workers, and if they have said this to workers within the Ministry of Youth, I would assume that the same has been said to workers in other departments as well. That they now have to pay their own NIS contributions. The same thing he was talking about when he wanted to become the Prime Minister. He's singing pretty. We have a caller. Let's take the call. Yeah, I think we have a caller online. Hello, good night.
Yes, good night, Bert.
Yes, sir. You're live. Go right ahead. Hello?
Yes.
Pay attention to the phone line. You're live. Go right ahead.
I want to ask a question.
Yes, sir.
Where Dr. Sean Charles?
Dr. Sean. It are two Dr. Sean Charles. Yes, so the chief medical officer?
Yeah.
Well, brother man, remember the past a confidentiality thing. The man not allowed to talk.
I'm listening.
All right, my brother.
No, I don't know yet, man.
Yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Because what I understand, when was NMP that was there? Every 12 o'clock, every 12:30, every 5:30, he on radio, he on TV, coming out with the COVID thing. But right now, I don't hear nothing about him.
But it's not his fault. It's not his
So
fault.
they muzzle
It's
him?
no, I'm not saying it's not him. I'm saying it is not his fault. I don't want listeners to go with the impression that Dr. Sean Charles is to blame. He is working within a system and he has a boss. A boss who has just sent a letter to every public worker telling them that they are to say nothing to anybody about anything going on in any ministry without permission from the permanent secretary in that ministry. So he can't say anything.
All right.
Yeah, honestly,
Yes.
he cannot, even if you were to call him now and ask him, technically he's not supposed to tell you because they would consider that to be he's leaking information. Next thing the man get fired.
Yeah, let me say something again.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
When you see this NDC party, those boys that them older heads, will never want this boy to over them. They will give him bad advice, all kind of thing to say stupid. And let he do his stupidness. Because all what he doing is stupidness. Mawet. Thank you, Sheldon.
All right, brother. Yes, indeed, folks. Yeah, there's the kind of thing. You're hearing him speaking, and no, I want you all to hear all that he had to say about the NIS. And the exact same thing that he was speaking out against, he is doing it. Yeah?
It is wrong. It is illegal.
All you hear that, eh? He's speaking about the not paying the NIS on behalf of workers and asking the contracted workers to pay their thing. You hear what he just said it is? Let me hear.
Choosing to pay your NIS contributions. It is wrong. It is illegal. And the National Democratic Congress commits that on forming the next government, we will immediately cease the practice of requiring our employees to pay their own NIS.
They will clap him. January 20th, 2023, cessation of submission National Insurance Scheme remittances on behalf of persons who are engaged via contract for service. So the very same thing that the NNP government was doing and he had a big problem with, he came into office and doing the same thing and possibly even worse. Yeah? And I leave it up on the screen all this time because I want you all to see. I want you all to see. Yes, they're balling with their mouth closed. I want you all to see. I'm not going to blame the college. I'm not going to blame Dr. Sean Charles. I'm not going to blame Dr. Sean Charles, the chief medical officer. Because if they're talking about leaking, next thing the man go outside there and talk and he find himself in trouble. Because in the Ministry of Health, they have been passing out letters left, right, and center trying to muzzle people so people are not supposed to speak out. But no self them nurse and them speaking out. No self they saying what's going on. That is what is happening in our country. They have been passing out the letters asking people. Remember, there was a cabinet letter that came out. This is the document that came out from cabinet to every government ministry and department and division. Basically telling them, hush all your mouth. I've been interacting with workers in the public service and they are coming to me and telling me, hey, we were told straight up, anything happen here, what happened here, let it stay here. Don't come out and say anything outside. Public workers have been telling me that. They have been saying what is taking place within the government service because now they're telling them that. And then you're telling them about fortnightly pay. You can't even pay them. There are people who today still ain't received their salary for last month. They have not been paid since the 15th of December. Some of them afraid to talk because if they come out and they talk publicly, they know with the nature of this government being as very, very, how could I put it? They like to victimize a lot. That the likelihood of them having a job after they do that is very slim. So they ain't want to come out and talk, but they meeting you on the road and they whispering to you, hey, me ain't get paid yet, you know. Me ain't get paid since the 15th of December. Today is the 23rd of February. And you have people that have not been paid. That's the kind of thing that's going on. We have a caller on the line. Hello, good night.
Hey, Brother Sheldon.
Yes, sir. And look, I'm seeing letters, they pass the letters in the Ministry of Agriculture to every department. They're trying to stifle them from being able to speak. But go ahead, my brother.
Sheldon, I laughing. like today's letter day. we get we letter today.
All you get all your letter today?
Yeah,
Dismissal?
got the pink slip today. Yes.
Oui, papa. Send it for me. Send it for me.
Yeah.
Send it for me. I'll add it to the collection.
I'm not liable to any penalty for leaking information.
But I want them try to fire one, just one public worker for leaking information, and they're going to see. They're going to see. Let them try. Only threatening and trying to create that atmosphere of fear. Try to fire one public worker for leaking any information and they will find out.
Well, so we to make what is called boy, help me here with the Constitution. Are we going to amend the Constitution?
Well, here's what,
You know,
no law
about freedom of speech, eh?
Well, here's what. No law that is created in the state of Grenada can be in contravention of your rights under the Constitution of Grenada. So no law can take away a constitutional right that you have. And as such, this is something I really want to speak to Dr. Francis Alexis on. I will be calling him and speaking to him and one or two other people like Dr. Lawrence Joseph and so. I really want to find out in relation to this, if it is in breach. Because once it's not a national security issue, for instance, they're calling all kind of investigation because the contracts of Patrick Simmons, the worst ever minister of sports ever in the history of Grenada, and Ian Django Thomas, no history of achieving anything when it comes to youth development, sports or culture, because their contracts that was requested by the leader of His Majesty's opposition that ought to have been given in Parliament, they did not give it in Parliament, and it came out. They're upset. Why they're trying to hush up people so much? They want to thief. They want to do some corrupt things inside there, so they're trying to shut up everybody.
You see, I believe the reason for doing that is because they are guilty of not doing what they're called to do. They're not doing it. They're doing a lot of different, having a lot of different practices. The things that's secluded, hidden stuff. So they feel that if the persons within the sector would have bring out something that they are planning and that they have spoken about, we going to hear it on the hard talk, but the talk point, you know.
But you know, it's some kind of talk.
Talking point, whatever it is, you know. So they are showing the lack of professionalism, the lack of managing the people's business as they ought to. So they're not sure to what they want to do or what they're doing. So maybe they have some hidden agenda. I don't understand. I'm a person. I want to make sure that I'm not, on the a breach of person's rights, But I believe that they need to be honest with us. They really need to be honest
Mm-hmm.
and say what is it that they're hiding. Say what is it they want to do. I just don't understand.
So, Pastor, let me ask this though. How many of you got your marching orders today?
Well, one to collect, so it's 2 that is written so far.
My goodness. All right, my brother.
There's two supervisors.
You'll
all right?
survive.
I wish I could have walked the new supervisors into as to how to do certain things. I mean, I wish that we had so much plans ongoing, and I wish, you see, so that's to tell you how subtle they are. They want to replace them with their own people,
Mm-hmm.
right?
But that's what's taking place. And then, even if the person might be a bit competent, there's a learning curve, which means during that period of time, nothing happens. So, for instance, when they changed out the seed officers all over the country, they brought people that, number one, didn't know the people under the seed program, are not aware of how the program functions properly and so on, and therefore they had to be on a learning curve, and many of them, the majority of them, are still on a learning curve. So you have all sorts of nonsensical mistakes taking place.
So they're asking us, right? They're asking nation, the state of Grenada to unite. One of my prayers always that we unite our country, our people, because we are living in on this little rock, and we ought to be each other's keeper. But the politics is a problem. The politics, those of them who are seeing politics as the only end thereof. You see, you want to be happy, be on my side, right? You want to be in hell, or you want to see trouble, be on the other side. That is the kind of game they are playing. Logically, that if you're not strong, that is going to affect you. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But the two sides of the mode, I believe the brain would select what it wants you to say or to do, and you would bring it out from the mouth. And that's what you see going on today, as you play those clips. The brain would say one thing, and then when they get to the mouth, the lips to bring it out is a set of trash, a set of and so forth. I want to know how they call that. Isn't that victimization?
Of course. Listen, you've heard the MP for Carriacou clearly saying that he had to get work for your people. So some people had to go, basically. That is what's going on. That is what they say.
Practically, the past leader, what he would do, he would create jobs, right? And leave the very said persons who are the ones that would have tried to suffer, stifle the development of our country. They've done it. They have done it.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, you have a good night, brother, and may God bless our nation, sweet nation.
All right. I'm sad to hear your situation, though, but don't worry, we'll talk.
No, man, we good.
All right, pass. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So one more on the breadline. And look, I got a message here from one individual. They went to the government dispensary and they received the medication for the child in one of the urine sample cups. Yeah, they put the medication for the child. The little cups, yeah. I have it there, but if I put it up, sometimes people might be able to tell a little bit who it is. Yeah. So I ain't going to put the picture up yet. But they got the child medication, the medication that they did get. They got it in a urine sample cup. That's the kind of thing. Those are the things that are going on, and then they don't want nobody say anything. So they don't want nurses to talk out. Look what's going on with nurses and police in our country. You have a significant amount of nurses that have gone, and you have even more now saying, if that is what they do us, they say they're giving us $500, we end up with $410. They take out $90. Or They say they're giving us 500, and when they add the 500, they do it in a way that we now qualify for personal income tax. So whap, a section of our salary come out. So we're in a worse and not a better position by them adding it in the way that they add it. And don't think they don't know how to add it, you know. Don't think they don't know how to add it. And they found a way to add 2,000 to their salary without it being taxable. So they couldn't add 500 to the nurses on without a way to find it taxable. Yeah? To find a way that it's not, they can't tax that 500. Or that if they do fall into a category that it bumps them up, that they have to pay personal income tax. Come on, man. You're telling me that they're incompetent, they can't even do that? Everything that these people have promised, they're doing the opposite. Everything that they've spoken against, they're coming back and do the same thing. Everything that they have spoken against, they're coming back now and do the same thing. And not just the same thing, you know. They're doing worse. Even things they used to accuse the New National Party are doing that the New National Party was not doing, they come in and do it now. And then when you tell them about it, and you say that is wrong, you all said it was wrong, it is wrong then, it is wrong now, you all need to stop that. They come and they say, well, we do it, and it's that. That nonsensical, idiotic statement that is devoid of any shred of intellect, care, or concern for another human being. Like dunce talk. Dunce people that has talk so. Because it's a statement of finality in that you're unable to carry on a proper intellectual conversation on the issue at hand. So therefore, you add a full stop to the end of the statement because your brain is incapable of forming another sentence on the issue that's being discussed in a sensible manner. And therefore, they come forward and they say, is that. It's best they bray like a donkey because only donkeys, in fact, nah. Let me don't embarrass donkeys by saying nah. Donkeys is smart animal. Sorry to all the donkeys out. Sorry, Royston and all that. Sorry to the donkeys out there because I really don't want to categorize you with these idiots. Yeah? Kami, talk to your people. I'm walking in tongue and one of them wanted to accost me today. They want to vex with me because you talk about how that wicked individual is getting rid of people left, right, and center in the tongue of St. George. And because our other friend called and say how that wicked individual getting rid of people left, right, and center, they meet me in tongue telling me they go lash me. Are you crazy? Are you know me? Lady, you should have tried it. You'd have find out. Yeah, I believe in conflict resolution, you know. Yeah. But I also have Malcolm X ideology as well. That's why I make sure I tape you with your stupid behavior. And one of these days I'll play it. Accost me again. See me in tongue and play coming up and tell me anything again. And I know you're listening. Try it again the next time. You must ask about me before you try them thing, eh? Nice. We have a caller on the line. Good night.
Sheldon, good night.
Yes, my dear.
I lie down there and drop asleep now.
Hey, well, I'll wake you up.
Yeah. Don't bother with that woman. Don't bother with her.
No, they should have come.
Don't focus on her.
They should have come.
Yeah, but don't worry with her. If she could find her own sister. She take away her bread from. She have a cause. She's a cause that take her. Don't worry. We don't even think about her. Don't bother with her.
They balling with their mouth closed.
She must. Girlfriend are living in Bushes, you. And they're in the terminal every day, from Monday to Saturday. You must come. Yeah, don't bother with that man.
No, I wanted them to try something, Cammy.
No, she only talking.
We'll use conflict resolution
skills. She used to be a police, you know.
We, Papa.
And if you get the story about she, but you know, we don't want to go there.
No, we won't go there.
I want you to continue having your program. You see what happens now? They go call and say on the radio and your program. Well, yeah, they start with negative thing, cut them off. They go come. And they you know. You understand?
Yeah.
They go meet you and they go throw at you and they go, but don't pay them no mind. Because what happened, Sheldon, I heard a lot of people say, you're lying and people lying. The Prime Minister didn't say that and they didn't.
Oh, he didn't. That's why we played.
They don't want to hear you on that program.
Well, all they have to do is close their computer.
Forget these people. You know, don't matter. You come by me. Don't meet Sheldon. Come and tell Miss Kami why are you here to tell me. You understand? Sheldon is our original tongue woman, you know. My grandfather name was Pablo Gittins. And if you are old people that listen that program, they know who Pablo Gittins was. That was my grandfather, original Grand Hospital man, you know. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
I grew up right there, the bell, next to Jericho and them home. This is people that raised me as a child. So don't worry them. My mother come out in Shanty Mel, you know. But my grandfather, Pablo Gittins, this is the first person that has sweet drink factory in the town of St. George. You understand? So don't bother with them people. If they really know me, they don't know. They go and do a research. Them come. Them just come and live and go on the street. You don't worry. They go. You see what? These people, they dig in their own grave. They dig in their grave and it's just a coffin they have to get. No, don't worry. Sheldon, we have to speak out of the wrong things that is going on in Grenada, Cargo, and Victimization. And that is something that's hurting these people. So they would like to shut me up, shut up the pastor and just get the things flipped. And they want you to, they don't want you to speak about you don't have medication. They don't want you to speak that they have something frugal going around now in Grenada. They don't want that. But let me tell you something. Yeah. None of y'all in the Parliament of Grenada now can't put a foot in Dr. Kit Mitchell. They don't like to hear Kit Mitchell name, you know. That is a man, Sheldon, that is for the poor class people. You understand? When I hear a man this morning, because I said agriculture is the backbone of Grenada, and I know that man, and the man gets sick with me, you know, and the man gone and he's staying up there. You can't touch it, Michelle, boy. If you're listening tonight, I don't know if they give a piece of money, you know. So you jump, you twist, you turn, but you will vanish. And I will vanish. Grenadian people are sorry to see what will happen to some of y'all. You see where you touch poor people? And are you taking out food from poor people's mouth? Wait till you are coming to y'all. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Everybody now crying. Yeah. People crying. You have some people afraid to speak. As you said, Mr. Scott, if some people go and speak, they might victimize them or victimize their child or whoever. So they just there. They just there with their mouth shut. You understand? And that same individual that attacking you there. You understand? The government sent her in Cuba to study. She's a doctor. She's a doctor. You should say thank God for the government of Grenada to harassing people. You're making your child shame. You're making your child shame. Yeah.
Kiami?
And everybody that yes, sir.
We ain't bothering with them again. Everybody tell me just don't bother them.
With them. We just have to focus on what we're doing, you know, and give the people the truth. Don't lie to nobody in Grenada, Sheldon.
I not a lie at all. Everything I say we could back up.
I know people are little money for me and I might little bills to pay too and they don't get money. I know they don't get money. Because these people that come and pay me over years when they take something from me and still give me a drink. And I have to tell one, I said, don't hide from me. I know you don't get money. Don't lie to me. She won't lie. She just don't get. You understand? It's not everybody that gets money because they have problems. You understand? Them people have a lot of problems. A lot of people in Grenada have problems right now. Yeah. I come up with a boss man when I say, boy, think tight today, you know. He say, hush your mouth, Miss Camilla. You have to tell me that. Not everybody that's saying nothing, they just grinding. You know how much I pay for? How much I pay for a winter fresh? $2. I will never lie, just if I lie, so I got keep me on that bed here. $2. Sheldon Scott.
Yes, ma'am.
I remember when you hear I make our money in the terminal for the past 2 years. I could have tried something. I could have give somebody a money to buy a cylinder gas when they cry trouble. Not nothing now. It's a good thing I always buy food and put in my place. And I have milk, I have a little pan and put me water bill money there, put me light bill money. I put up $5 or $10 aside so I could pay me water bill. Otherwise, I'm problem. I start my little business, Mr. Scott, and Grenada people know that. I'm on board with me little tray on my head, you know. Walking in the ministry sugar cake. Start to make steamers and Marby. You hear?
Yes,
and
indeed.
never go in a bank and get no loan to do nothing, you know. I was the caretaker of the Ministry of Finance. I don't understand how some of them they're beating up themselves about this person give me this, that, and even self the government of Grenada help me. Yeah, a lot of them right now that the government of Grenada help them and now they turn their back on them and they're ungrateful. I must call Michelle name, you know.
Kiami?
Say what you want.
Kiami?
I must call Claudius name.
Buzz me later again.
Scotty, don't bother with this thing. Don't let it frustrate you. Don't.
But I had them on tape, I ain't worried. I had them on tape. I make sure I tape them.
Me and you. You have a lot of NNP you don't ball in, you know. They don't ball in. Some NNP helping people now. Trust me. All when they do our job. Yes, sir.
We go talk again soon.
I lie down still, man.
Don't go
good
and sleep.
Night to Mr. Watts and Patty, all you good night, you, yeah? If you don't hear me, get a drop and sleep.
Okay, my love.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
And folks, you know what? Let me pull up something here for you. Let me let you all see. Yeah, that's Pastor letter. yeah. We let you all see, you know. Yeah, that's the letter that they give Pastor. Pastor gave a letter today. Yeah. So they can't say they ain't sending home nobody and they ain't firing nobody and all kind of thing. And watch, they had the thing ready since the 17th, you know, to give him today. You understand? Yeah. That's what they do. And only thing I was joking when I say the people get the thing in the cup with the cup what it does use for the thing. Yeah, I'm gonna pull that up for you too. Yeah, nah, that is I'm telling you. No, because it does want to say we lying, so sometimes you just have to pull thing up and let them see. They just want to say that we lying. So you just have to show. Because they just want to say that we lying. Yeah? They just want to say that we lying. You know? It's very interesting though. And I want to speak about this one quick before we run out of time tonight. I want to speak about this one. I realized Teacher Jude has miraculously reappeared. Yeah, he is miraculously reappeared. All of a sudden now he's talking. I heard Teacher Jude on the radio. I heard him on the radio. Saw him on the internet and so now Teacher Jude talking again, you know. Yeah, let's hear a little bit of Teacher Jude.
Says he feels it's necessary to clear the air in light of grumblings in some quarters about the issue of salary increases for this year. He explains that salary negotiations for...
Yeah, remember, the police and them talk since November, December, they tell the people what going on. PWU, they sent out something then, and earlier this year, they sent out something again today. Yesterday or today, they sent out something again. And now, in fact, let me take a quick call here. Let me take this call before I go further into that one. Hello, good night.
Hey, good night, Sheldon.
Hey, good night, brother. How are you?
Hey, good, man. Good for the time.
All your people pay me in problem. All your people meet me in tongue and try to rough me and thing. What kind of thing is that, brother?
God, we praying for them. We have to pray for them. You see how they want to take this country down this tribal road. You know, and the things were never happen in NNP time. is the things these people doing, and they call themselves the Righteous Party, led by baby Jesus. This thing attacking people, insulting people, firing people, and they think that is something righteous they're doing, and they're helping Grenada. They're helping the economy. The people see how the economy closing down on them, how slow it getting, how people complaining, and yet these people just continue to have the attack dogs out there going wrong with their lists, saying who going home and who not going home, who should eat and who shouldn't eat. You know, I just can't imagine that these people come in and said, look, we is for all the people, and we all are one Grenadians. And they just deliberately dividing the country. I remember when NNP was in office, a lot of these people didn't want to work. They didn't want to work. In fact, some of these people, their character was so bad today who trying to fight people that people were scared to put them in certain jobs. Because everywhere they work, they were sent home under some questionable something.
Well, I know I never worked with the Royal Grenada Police Force. I know that for sure.
Everywhere they work.
But all I had to say is I never worked with the Royal Grenada Police Force. All right.
It was questioned. Today these people come chief, and they could tell you who going home and who they find tomorrow. It's just, you know, and the Grenadian people sit down there and we taking it. Our union brothers sit down there and they're watching it, and it's like, it's entertainment to them. I don't know, these people spoiling our country. Spoiling it. They're bringing it down a tribal road where they want us to react in a certain way. But thank God, we're bigger than that, we're smarter than that, and we will not go down that road with them. They're taking our country and playing this kind of ping-pong, tick-tock with it, and think they're running country. When you see the kind of people they're sowing on, poor people, children, people who depend hand to mouth on what they get from working, they say, oh, people lazy. Well, you're going to make more, you're creating more lazy people because you're sending them home. These are the people who you say lazy and they like to beg and things. Now you're creating more beggars, more lazy people. You are spoiling the country. That's what these people are doing. And they think they're doing Grenadians some kind of godly justice. These people believe they have some mandate from God to do people that, you know. We have to be very, very careful with these people. They feel that they have some righteous God tell them to do this thing. You know? Send all of them NNP home. Get rid of them. But what we have to do is to continue to pray for these people, continue to stay steadfast, expose them, and Sharon, I love what you are doing, exposing them. And continue to expose them. We are 100% behind you, and we will continue to expose them. Every time they show up their dirty head or their ugly face, we would point it out and we would expose them.
Yes,
we're not
indeed.
a warlike people. Our party is not a warlike party, and we in for no war, no violence. But we will protect our country by speaking up and standing firm.
Yeah, we had to do nothing violent or so. We just do what we have to do.
I will tell you, that person who making all them zigwa behind you there, she just mongoose-minded.
Look like one too.
Just mongoose-minded.
Anyway, let me don't say that, Let me don't say that. Let me be nice. Let me don't say that. Anyway.
No, she reacts like a mongoose. That's how she reacts. Like
anyway,
somebody that has
brother,
kind of rabies.
you know.
But
let me forget them. I have about 2 issues I want to raise quick before we time run out.
Okay, no problem.
All right, brother. Yeah.
Don't be afraid.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, folks. So I was just going to go on to the issue of the unions, because we know if it was the new National Party in office now and negotiations going on, every media person would have received updates nearly by the second of what is taking place with the unions. Now, at least the the combined, I believe it's the prisons and the police. They've been speaking to their membership. They've been sending out information to them. Public Workers Union, they've been sending out information to them. Teachers, you haven't been hearing anything. So all of a sudden, lo and behold, because now he knows that he's unchallenged, because here was taking place now. Teacher Jude was afraid to talk because there were some people that wanted to challenge him for the leadership of that union. But you see, the NDC people want to ensure that they have a friendly face at the head of that union. So that if they say, is that, is that. So you understand what has been taking place there. So now that he knows, because remember, nearly all the unions are going into elections now. Yeah, to change their leadership or to keep their leadership, whatever. So he knows that they're going into the leadership thing now. So he come out now and he start to speak. Well, no, he's so far here he's unchallenged. I don't know if that's going to change on the day. But so far he's unchallenged. But he's talking out now. All of a sudden he's talking about what is going on with salary negotiations and so. Teacher Jude used to be on the TV nearly every single week. He trying to be on beyond the headlines and thing. He trying to be on to the point. All of a sudden he disappear. And only because we call him out now. He come out. Let me hear what he had to say.
With the government's negotiating team.
PW and TAU are negotiating on their own. They never accepted the 4% for 2023, just as the Grenada Union of Teachers. We have a negotiating team. We have a national executive. We met and we decided that we're not going to, at least in principle, accept the 4%, and we're going to fight a negotiation to see if we can get more. There is no movement as yet to the 2023 in terms of the 4%. 2024 and 2025, there have been movement there. The government started making some movements upwards. I would not say what it is, but at least we are waiting another engagement with the government negotiating team this week, and let's see what will happen.
No, he's not saying what the movement is, but here's what. The Public Workers Union, at least they come out and they're telling the workers what is taking place. So they tell them what the government is now offering, because remember, with that 2% really, and you're paying a 1% extra as of this month, or 0.5%, you're actually, the offer is actually just a 1%. That's what's being offered. Now, the Public Workers Union, at least they have enough decency to put out something and say what is going on. No, I don't always agree with any of the unions. Yeah? I don't agree, but the union's doing their job. Their job is to try to get the best deal for the workers. But it seems as certain unions only know to try and get the best deal for their workers when it's the NNP in office. But when the NDC in office, they go mute for months at a time. Mute. They have nothing to say. So we see the situation here where the previous offer by the government was 422. So 4% increase in your salary for 2023. For 2024, 2%, and 2025, 2%. And we already know that with the increase in the NIS, that is going to erode. The 4 is going to become 3, and the 2 is going to become 1. Now the offer is still 4 for 2023, and 3 for 2024, and 3 for 2025. So now it comes down to the 2 that they offered in the first instance. And the unions, the Public Workers Union and TAU, their counter proposal is 8% for 2023, 7% for 2024, and for 2025, 8%. I'm not saying I agree or I disagree with what the union is doing, but saying at least we are hearing, and at least the members are hearing from the Public Workers Union. But it seems as other unions want to play politics. They want to be good to their government. They want to be good to their party. So they ain't coming out and say, this is what is being offered. So you could say this was the offer before, but you can't say what the new offer is. Why? If it was NNP, they coming out and say what the new offer is, and he cussing when he doing it. He hypocrite. You, Teacher Jude, is a hypocrite. No if, what, or but about it. You is a hypocrite. Because if it was NNP, you would have had those teachers on the road marching and say you're marching for your 8% or you're marching for your 7% or you're marching for whatever percentage it is that you're asking for. But no, because it is the NDC, your NDC is in office right now. You have bowed down at the altar of baby Judas. You, I ain't afraid to say it, you have bowed down at the altar of baby Judas right now. Yeah? So you can't tell the teachers and them what the offer is. All of a sudden, you have to get a one thing on a GBN now and so on. You can't find yourself on Beyond the Headlines and so the government ain't wicked again. Yeah? They offer your teachers 1%. They ain't wicked. When the New National Party was offering more than that, you call them wicked. This government offer 1%, but you ain't calling them wicked. Some of all is trade unionists and some of all is political opportunists with the face of a trade unionist. I said it. Some of you might be genuine trade unionists. NNP in power, they're giving trouble. NDC in power, they're giving trouble. But some of all you who does hide when the NDC in office, but all you have the most noise to make when NNP in office, all is political activists using a mask of a trade unionist. And there's no if, what, or but about it. Actions. Actions are showing. Or the lack thereof. Tell you all now that I be on the road. But I be all over the place. Saying all kind of thing about the NNP. And the wicked. And the prices of stuff going up. We've heard over this week how the prices of stuff has been going up here in Grenada, you know. We've been hearing it. So you're hearing that things that was $7 going up to $12. You're hearing those things. And now, now after hearing those things, now you've gotten to a situation where people that are offering you even less than the NNP was offering you. Listen, understand what took place, you know. You had COVID. The New National Party government did not send home anybody. They didn't fire anybody. And you had COVID-19. The place was on lockdown. Instead, what they did, when the thing eased up, they gave a bonus to the workers. They gave a bonus, especially to the police and nurses, and so they gave a bonus to them. I know a lot of them was looking forward to seeing one in December this year, but no, it's the wrong Mitchell that day. don't look for that one. Right? Yeah. So that is what took place. And the people in the private sector, especially in the hotel sector and so, who had to go home during the COVID time, did receive assistance from the government of Grenada. How many other islands you hear that? Right next door in St. Vincent, they send home how much people? Barbados, they send home. Trinidad, they send home. All over, they send home. Grenada, maintained. Did you hear them come and say, well, what job well done or anything like that? No, they take to the road, the government wicked, the government this, the government that. A government treating them worse than what they accuse the New National Party of right now. And they had nothing to say. They balling with their mouth closed. You Titus take them. Yeah? They can't say anything now. Look at what they're offering. Look at what they're offering. Because I would assume that whatever proposal they put before the Public Workers Union would be the same proposal that they would put before the Teachers Union as well. Because whichever, they can't come to one with a higher one than the other one. They definitely can't do that. Yes, so I would assume that this is the same thing that's in front of the police and prisons and also the Grenada Union of Teachers. So the new offer by government is still 4% for this year and 3% for next year and 3% for the year after that. And we haven't heard yet if there are plans to increase your NIS contributions over the next few years again, because I know that was part of what was being suggested, that not only an increase in the NIS this year, but possibly next year and the year after that, going over a period of time till you get it up to a certain level, and also increasing the pensionable age over a period of time, which is why now you have over 100 police officers seeking to resign the job. Because they've already made, let me just quickly take a call here. They've already made the age, so they're looking to leave. We have a call online. Good night.
Good night.
Yes, go right ahead, caller. You're live.
Yes. Sheldon, I want to quote something here. It is very imperative that when a party gets into office, that they look at the structure of how they govern a country.
Mm-hmm.
And according to one historian, he say, democracy is of the people, for the people, and by the people. So everything, and the late Morris Bishop quoted that same gentleman. And if it's for, by, and of the people, that means you have to include all of the citizens of the country in which you govern. Now, I want to express a little condolences. I know he's not dead. To my cousin, I heard he got his pink slip, well, it's yesterday or today. And I'm very sorry about that, but I cannot change it. If I were able to change it, I would have changed it a long time ago. But I got mine since in June, July. So nothing to worry about.
All right.
So, and what these people are doing, this is not only victimization. This is spite. They are spiting some Grenadians, hurting some Grenadians. They are planning to kill off some Grenadians, maybe to gain victory over some.
And usually I would have stopped you at that point and say, be careful with your language. But if you take $150 away from an 80-something-year-old or a 70-something-year-old or a blind person or a person with epilepsy and so that need to get medication, then it's killing them.
Yes.
Usually I would have stopped you and say, no, don't say that. No, but it's the reality. It's what they're doing.
That's
They're
the
killing
fact.
off some people.
Exactly. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. Now, I made a statement some time ago on a station. I'm not going to repeat it again, but I always say, when you hurt the elderly people, there is a thing they call karma, or a curse that does befall you. And my grandmother always, she died now, she always make that statement. Don't let old people curse fall on you. Because it's going to live off of you for a lot of years. And your grandchildren or children may inherit that same curse.
Mm-hmm. All right,
so
caller.
I am very, very disappointed in the way that this government has governed Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique.
All right. And caller, we're going to have to wrap here because we have 7 minutes remaining and we want to just close off properly.
Okay.
All right. No problem.
I want to say thanks for allowing me, but I will hold the rest for our next program.
Of course, Monday.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, my brother. Yes, indeed, folks. Because I want to speak about another issue. We've spoken about the trade unions and so, but there's one other issue I want to leave with you for the weekend. I spoke about it before, but I want to hammer it home with you all. There has been a serious level of disrespect that has been given to the Cubans here in Grenada. Outside of the statements being made there about the Cubans and so the negative statements being made about them. Here's what. Let me just give you an example of what we're going through here. And I want them to tell me that I'm lying and I want them to prove that I am lying. The Cuban government has offered the government of Grenada 12 medical scholarships. 12. Yeah? A dozen medical scholarships for young people to leave here, go to Cuba, and return as doctors. So imagine you could have your child that's, they have the right subjects and so on, and they could apply and they can go and they can come back to Grenada as a fully trained doctor. We have many doctors here, from Dr. Julie Dubois to Dr. Clarice Modest to Dr. Terence Marichaud. Many doctors here in Grenada that went out, they trained, and they've come back. And I just call those names off the top of my head. I know there are many, many, many others. You know how many of those scholarships that have been taken up? The 12? 0. You know the excuse that's being given to the Cubans? They can't find people to take it up. You tell me if that is true. Or if that is just plain incompetence. You have a minister of health that's been invited. The people go to buy tickets, all kind of thing. You don't even show up. Disrespect. The Cubans, they sent their message of solidarity for our independence. Their message of solidarity was not even read. They were not even acknowledged that they, in fact, listen, one person tell me the city ambassador and his crew head out, they didn't even go to the reception. One of the people that were on point there, they saw the Cuban ambassador leave. Because how could he be there and you don't even acknowledge him? 12 scholarships. 12, you know. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 12. You're telling me you couldn't find one Grenadian to send to be a doctor to come back to Grenada to be able to help us? You could have sent somebody to come back as a cardiologist or oncologist or ENT specialist or ophthalmologist. You couldn't send anybody to go and cover one of those areas that we need. A gynecologist. An area that we need, people. So you're telling me they're so incompetent that they couldn't find anybody? So 12 scholarships just basically go to waste? Come on, man. Something definitely had to be wrong with us. Well, not us, you know. Had to be wrong with them because we're speaking out about it. When we hear these things, we speak out about it. Yeah? And there are many intelligent, capable young people who would be willing to go. The same people who say they care so much about young people. And they're the young party with the young prime minister and the young this and the young that. And you're telling me they can't find 12 young people to send. We shouldn't be wasting a single medical scholarship. Not one, we shouldn't be wasting it. We can't waste things like that. Meanwhile, people sit down in the hospital waiting for surgery. Meanwhile, people having their surgeries rescheduled to months later. And don't talk about the medication problem. Don't talk about the fact that the nurses and them bailing. Don't talk about those things. But this is the situation we have there. Come on, man. Something definitely had to be wrong. For that level of incompetence. What? You have a problem with Cubans, sir? If you have a problem with the Cuban system or government, that is one thing. But you see the Cuban people themselves and what they have done for Grenada from the 1970s up to now, what they have done for Grenada, yeah, we shouldn't be treating them like that. We shouldn't be treating them, and all of us as Grenadians should apologize for the behavior of our government. That's a failure on behalf of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Let me say it again. That's a failure on behalf of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And a failure on behalf of the cabinet and the government on a whole. That is a failure. Because you have people here that need the help. You have people sit down and go off going blind. You have people sit down in different parts of Grenada going blind that could get the opportunity to go to Cuba. The Cuban people are willing to help. But what we doing them? Disrespecting them. That's what we're doing. But that's what our government is doing. Because me ain't doing it. But that's what our government is doing. Yeah? Listen. You can't find 12 young people in Grenada right now to send to go and be doctors. Yeah? You can't find 5? If you can't find 12, okay, you could find 5. You tell me nobody wants to go? Come on, man. Something. Maybe we had to start to look at the Grenadian diaspora. Maybe we had to start to take children of Grenadians from other places and send them to do the scholarships. And if we can't find enough here, and I'm positive, if effort had been put into it, we could have found the 12 here instead of wasting 12 scholarships. Something definitely had to be wrong with us. Folks, yeah, we've come to the end of our program for tonight and for this week. It's been wonderful being here with you. There's a lot of information that I have. Yes, Hannah, I know that I do owe time. The problem is transportation. Yeah, I usually have to run out as soon as it's 10 due to transportation issues. But definitely you all will get your time back, all right? No, I cannot do the Friday program because this thing involves babysitting and all kind of things. Yeah, you know me already and my children, right? But it involves, babysitting and all of that. So when it comes to giving the extra time or doing it on a Friday, it's a bit of a problem. All right, but folks, I'd like to thank all of you that contributed to the program, those of you that keep the information pipeline open, that continue to provide us with the information, those of you that you call, you message and different things. I'd like to thank all of you. I'd also like to thank all of you that call the program. Yeah, even the caller that called last night, I hope the caller don't feel bad, you know. It's just that I know when you hear these kind of things taking place in your country, it gets you upset. I understand where the caller is coming from, but I also have to protect myself and so on. I could understand. And I want that caller to call me back next week, you know. I want you to call back. Caller who called last night and I had to cut the call. Yeah, I want you to call me back next week. All right, we just have to be careful with the language. But I could tell how they're upset. Imagine I show you a while ago, you know. Imagine just before I go, let me show you one more time. Yeah, that's what they're using to put medication. Yeah, the urine sample, you know, sometimes you put urine sample and thing in there. Yeah, that's what they're using to put the medication that they do have. Yeah, because we know that they don't have a lot of the medication and so. So, folks, that's all the time we have for Talking Points for tonight. As I said, in whatever you say and do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you and definitely not about you. Love each and every one of you. And let me get them a song as we going out now, man. Yeah, take the one, come and go.
People balling murder, while some others mad. The people they vote for shirting them bad. They just will look past them when they see them pass, or just take a big stone and knock down their ass. But I have a therapy I'm willing to share. Anytime the pressure get too much to bear, I have a new dance, it is the formula. Once you do it, I know you must feel better. So give me a minute or two, let me explain the dance to you. Just a simple demonstration, it is very easy to learn. Put your hand in the air like this, close your finger and make a fist. Let go your tongue, put it in the air. Wave it like you ain't care. Anytime you see them MP, do it for them to see. And if they ask you what that means, tell them the dance you're doing is one term. One term. I want all you to take a chance. Show them the one term dance. One term. One term. Put your thumb up and then balance. Show them the one term dance. If you hardly don't see UMP, anytime you're checking me busy, Peter David always flying. Some people cannot see him, kill but we realize, like young people they be nice. Some of them are passing away, they forget to put them up there.